from New Jersey. Can I get a shofar for Sackler and all other activists whose hard work has paid off in that Tufts has responded to community pressure and completely removed the Sackler name from all its schools, buildings, and other entities and will no longer accept money from this family? Yes, you can. And in honor of Tufts responding to the Sackler program, let's go back and look at Perdue Pharmaceuticals was the name of the company. Now I don't know if the Sacklers still own it, but they I think they do, right? I mean, aren't they trying to distance themselves? They are the ones who developed. They created OxyContin, which was marketed as a opioid that was less addictive than other opioids. Because of a special time-release capsule that supposedly would, whatever. And it appears, anyways, that they, in fact, had reason to believe that their marketing campaign was an inaccurate description of this stuff. Plus, they were marketing it largely arguably off-label. In other words, usage, because it was supposedly less addictive, like you could use it for a lot more things. And here is, just to give you a sense of what was really driving this, it was money. There is culpability not just with a place like Purdue, but the 3 or 4 national distributors of this drug. They had a statutory obligation to report when they saw spikes or abnormalities with how many pills were being sold in certain areas of the country. In fact, they tried to retroactively try and change this law so that they could get out of the lawsuits that they are now being subjected to. And then, of course, there were pill mills on the ground in various areas. But here's what really ultimately got the ball rolling. Sales representatives who were super psyched that they were blowing it up, as it were, in terms of their sales. And so they bring to you this song from the 2011 Purdue, I guess, like
company retreat,
opioid sales retreat in Phoenix, Arizona. Here's some of those company reps kicking it out to a Tao Cruz song, Dynamite.
Got the right plan, 'cause we gon' rock this lunch. We gon' get it right. We gon' light it up like it's dynamite. 'Cause I sold you once, now I sold you twice. They gon' light it up like it's dynamite.
All right, in other words,
cool.
let me
Why
explain
can't we
to
do
you
stuff like that?
Let me explain to you what the song was about. I'm going to rock this lunch. I've sold you once on OxyContin, and now I'm going to sell you again. In fact, I'm going to sell you so many of these pills that you're going to be delirious. In fact, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up the lives of many of your patients. It's going to blow up the budgets of municipalities and states as they deal with this. It's going to literally blow up people's, capacity to stay alive in the form of incredible amounts of opioid deaths. And it's going to blow up the trend of increased longevity amongst certain segments of our population.
This might just make me seem like an older urban youth, but like I preferred the song the first time when it was called the 10 Crack Commandments. But now they're not even trying anymore. Biggie,
Do you think they could pull that cover off?
Back when Biggie was rapping about dealing crack in the inner city, like that had a certain amount of class to it. This is just this is extreme Pete Buttigieg energy. This is, if you've ever wondered why the Panic at the Disco, High Hopes thing, like this is that world that comes from. Like they loved this though. When they played this at Perdue Pharma at their little get-togethers at their end of year meeting, they loved it. Like
I can. It's so easy for me to imagine.
That's
exactly. They're sitting around. This was at everybody's sitting in a round table having like some type of lunch. They have now landed on the dessert, which is like some type of like indescribable mousse type of thing with whipped cream on top, and people are losing it at this. They are loving it.
Getting loose.
In fact, they probably played it twice.
They probably showed their family when they got home. Like, did you see this guy? I work with him. You know, it's so funny, right? I mean, like, everyone loves Teo Cruz in 2000.
Everybody, get your phones out. You're gonna want to record this.
It's gonna be great.
Well, this is the type of product that only capitalism can produce, right? Because if it wasn't for capitalism, this would have just been a karaoke night.
Yeah.
Frankly, I mean, this is produced by the same people who made Rebecca Black's Friday video. Like, they just make music videos going around. But I will say, Hannah Arendt talked about the banality of evil, but this is like the corniness of evil. Just like the tackiness of evil.
All of these people belong in jail.
When we were in Boston doing something called the Comedy Lab, John Benjamin and I, Mike Lee, David Waterman, Rich Gustis went and performed at a couple of these things. We did it for not for Stackler, but it was like we did a digital. I think it was Digital. Was that the name of the company, or Wang or something like that?
Wang Digital.
I think maybe Digital. I think it was called
Digital Wang.
No, I can't remember. But it was uncomfortable because our brand of comedy did not
match.
There was a lot of like, let's get out of here quick after we were done with the show. The only part they liked was when you come out and reference them. You work them into the the bits, like, hey everybody, I'm a speaker. I'm a motivational speaker, and I'll tell you, the folks in RD, they stink. And then everybody's like, RD, oh. And I know a lot of you probably have your paper clips coming from accounting, and that's the they tell you like to make those inside jokes, and it was pretty ugly stuff. JJ Cool.